Good day. So now we were talking about the control time and temperature in food preparation. So unsa man ning control time and temperature in food preparation. So do you have any idea? So at this moment we will know the control time and temperature. So here, temperature control. This principle is about killing germs with cooking and stopping their growth by keeping the food hot or cold. So, ang temperature control diay is to kill the germs, to stop their growth by keeping the food hot or cold. Kay syempre naadyo na siya ang temperature. Kay murag ma-measure man nimo kung kay kung masubraan ra sad ang temperature, of course, ang bacteria, ang benefits sa kanang nga maong food is syempre mawala sad. So there is always a limitation. That's why temperature control must be included during food preparation, most especially in cooking. Okay? So here, microorganisms can multiply very quickly to harmful levels, which increase the risk of foodborne illness. So that is why importante jud kaayo ang temperature control. So sama sa akong gi-discuss, naagi na siya limitation sa pag-control sa temperature, kung unsa siya ka bugnawon or unsa ka initon ang dapat ana nga pagkaon, just to ensure that there is no foodborne illness or any harmful levels that would affect the consumer. And temperature control is the most effective method of reducing the growth of harmful pathogens in food. So yes, exactly. So usa ni sa pinaka-importante para ma-reduce ang growth of harmful. Okay? So, di ba makita dyan niyo, di ba, na siya example sa specific temperature sa kana siya nga on that certain food. Okay, so now, the temperature range in which pathogens grow most quickly is called the temperature danger zone. So, that is why dali jud kaayo ang pagkatap sa mga microorganisms or sorry for the distraction. So again, the temperature range in which pathogens grow most quickly is called the temperature danger zone. It's because grabe dali ra jud kaayo ang pagkuyakap sa germs. And that is why in order to prevent that case, syempre importante jud kayo ang time temperature in order to prevent the microorganisms to scatter the bacteria. Okay, so now time control. So time control, high risk food must be thrown out after it's been in temperature danger 1 for 2 hours. So yes, exactly. So grabe jud ang time control is usa sa gini siya nga importante. Kay with time control we will avoid high risk food, di ba? Kay naagi na siya ma-include gina siya kung pila lang ka oras ang pwedeng iluto ni siya. Okay, either 1 hour or 2 hours, something like that. Okay, so time or temperature control for safety or TCS foods. So a TCS food or time temperature control for safety food requires time and temperature controls to limit the growth of illness causing bacteria. Yes, that is why importante jud kayo ni siya. It's because if you were know the TCS or the time temperature control for safety, the illness or the spreading of bacteria will be eliminated possible, nor to reduce the possible bad effects of certain food to our body. So importante jud kay ni. So time temperature control for safety. So di ba na di ang mga examples. So kana siya nga mga foods na gina sila specific time or temperature when you cooking that certain food. Again, so time temperature control for safety must be mastered, especially the chief or responsible, even the person who is responsible in preparation before that food can be cooked. So importante jud kayo kay with that ma-prevent na to ang mga possible nga mga illness or spreading of bacteria and so on. Okay, so
hello everyone, my name is Janina Ekatulpus and I am going to report about the examples of TCS food. So first, food from animal origin that is raw, cooked, or partially cooked, such as eggs, milk, meat, or poultry. Food from animal origin means a food produced from animals or originating from animals in a processed or unprocessed state. So let's proceed to the number 1, the egg. Eggs, when you think of the safety concerns surrounding these TS foods, right? Because in eggs, the bacteria Salmonella most likely comes to mind. Eggs contaminated with Salmonella on the inside and the outside of egg during the laying process, which makes proper handling is very important. But as long as you follow time and temperature rules for storing, prepping, and cooking eggs, they are safe to serve and consume. So, cooking tips in eggs. Boiled eggs should be cooked immediately after mixing or stored in refrigeration. Cook shell eggs to 145 degrees Fahrenheit for service or 155 degrees Fahrenheit for pot holding. So let's proceed to number 2, the milk. Store all milk at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below. It includes dairy milk like cheese, sour cream, or butter. And the number 3, meat or poultry. The reason why meat or poultry are considered TCS food is because they provide a hospitable environment for bacteria and microorganisms. Moist, protein-rich, and acidic foods like meat and chicken already carry some bacteria. So it's important to stop growth in its tracks and kill any germs with proper storage and cooking. Cooking tips. Meat or poultry products need to be cooked to the following temperature for at least 15 seconds. In the poultry, it includes 165 degrees, ground or tenderized meat, and 155 degrees for the steaks, chopped, game meat, and roast. Number 2. Food from plant origin that is cooked, such as rice, pasta, and potatoes. So, from the rice and pasta, rice aren't considered TCS food until they are cooked. The dried form of these foods can be stored at room temperature, but once they are constituted and heated, they become susceptible to bacterial growth. So in cooking tips, and cook rice to at least 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Cook or reheat any dishes containing this cooked food as an ingredient to at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. And last, the potatoes. possesses a risk of bacteria when they are handled incorrectly. You might be wondering how potatoes cause an excuse if they are already cooked, because it can easily enter the temperature danger zone if they aren't stored or held properly. Cooking tips in potatoes. Look or reheat any dishes containing potatoes to at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Then let's proceed to number 3. Food from plant origin such as raw seed sprout, cut melons, cut tomatoes, and cut leafy greens. So in sprouts are on the list because they have the potential to be hazardous when consumed. The ideal growing environment for sprouts is moist and humid, the same conditions that encourage bacterial growth. This combined the fact that sprouts are often eaten raw makes them a potential cause of foodborne illness. They are contaminated at the source, may show no signs that bacteria is present, which makes them risky, especially for populations with a weakened immune system. Cooking tips for sprouts. Some types of sprouts can be cooked, which is much safer than consuming them raw. Cook sprouts to at least 135 degrees Fahrenheit to kill potential bacteria. Then cut melons and cut tomatoes. Surprising, right? The intact skin and rind of these fruits prevent bacteria growth, but once the flesh is exposed by being sliced or cut, it becomes vulnerable. So cooking tips. Cooked dishes that contained fresh cut tomatoes should be heated at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Lastly, cut leafy greens. Once leafy greens are cut, they become a TCS food. The part of the leaf that is cut or torn becomes an entryway for bacteria or microorganisms to contaminate the lettuce. So cooking tips. For any cut greens that are cooked, like collards, chara, and caldo, make sure they reach a temperature of at least 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Lastly, number 4. Mixtures including cut tomatoes or garlic in oil, unless modified to prevent growth of disease-causing bacteria of formation of toxins. Garlic in oil, how did it end up on the TC food list? Any questions? So, it ended up as a TC food list when you peeled, minced, or roasted garlic cloves and add them to oil. The mixture has the potential to create a breeding ground for bacteria that causes botulismo. If you make or own garlic oil mixtures, don't leave them out at room temperature or you are risking a case of foodborne illness. Cooking tips. There is no hazard temperature for cooking garlic and oil mixture, but some sources cite 250 degrees Fahrenheit or above is consumed. And that's all for my report. Thank you for listening.
Good day everyone, I am Shumar Martin M. Nuena and I will be discussing the temperature danger zone. So the temperature danger zone has its name for a reason, of course, danger zone. So a single bacterium doubles every 20 minutes in the right conditions. meaning it can multiple trillions of times in just 24 hours without the proper attention to the food safety. So the temperature danger zone is between 41 Fahrenheit or the 5 Celsius and 135 Fahrenheit or the 57 Celsius. So between this range, diha na mo grow ang mga pathogens and bacteria nga makakos og illness. So the harmful microorganisms can grow to levels high enough to cause illness within 4 hours. So again, in between that range, kita man sa illustration, no? In between that range, kung malapas ang gani ka, bisag ma 6 Celsius, 42 Fahrenheit pa nimo, diha mo multiple na ang atong pathogens or ang mga bacteria. That's right. Okay, so let's proceed. TCS foods must pass through the temperature danger zone as quickly as possible. So we already know what is TCS food as they have mentioned earlier. So kay nahanglan man nga makapass through na jud ang food sa temperature danger zone. So again, balik-balik rataan ni para dili na siya maka-accumulate og daghang bacterias, dili na mo multiple og mo triple trillions and billions of bacteria. Kay kung malapas or masubraan man siya, daghan na kay mga bacterias nga maka-grow di sa imong food. Okay, so next, always use a thermometer to check internal food temperatures. Yes, we need to check the temperature of our food using thermometer, but not the human thermometer. We have the food thermometers or the metal steam probe thermometers. So pathogens can multiply when food is exposed to the temperature danger zone. So to reduce the incidence of foodborne illnesses, it is ideal to lessen the exposure of food in the temperature danger zone. So kinahanglan nato siya para mahibaw-an nato nga nakapass through na siya sa temperature danger zone, magamit ta og food thermometer. Kay lain sa kay aton lang tan-aw ni hikap na to kay bawo na day tadayon sa temperature, di ba dili. So kinahanglan ta mo gamit og food thermometer. So for example katong storya ni Sir Danby sa ato ang when they cook sa Jollibee na anay right temperature. If makuha na ganin na siya sa hours, like 2 hours, ilan nang ilabay, ilan na lang i-dispose ato nga mga food. Kay diha man mo accumulate or mo multiply ang mga bacterias nga makadaot sa ato ang hawas. Gets ra? So that is the temperature danger zone. Mao na siya ang critical zone sa mga food. Okay? Gets ra? Okay, thank you. Let's proceed to the time or the temperature controls.
Good day everyone, my name is Yvette Marie Gulbin, your next reporters for today's video. So, from the previous discussion, they talk about the definition of type or temperature control for safety, the examples of TCS food, and the temperature danger zone. So, for my part, I'm going to discuss the types of temperature control. So, what is temperature control? So, the temperature control is a set of procedures, strategies, and measurements and conditions that established to meet our needs or to maintain our standards or specifications of a given product or a process regarding to our temperature. So it is vital or it is important for food safety assurance and to process our food products. So it minimizes the potential of harmful bacterial growth and toxin information in TCS food. So, the temperature control, importante gud ni siya kay it can destroy harmful bacteria or to reduce their numbers by cooking or reheating. And we can control their growth by keeping food hot or cold. So, how can temperatures be used to keep food safe? So, the first one is receiving. Understandable naman jud ang receiving, no? It is important nga i-make sure na to i-check ang temperature TCS food during the receiving process. So, this will help you gauge, or this will help you measure whether the food is okay ba siya or dili na. If ever ma-level siya sa danger zones ang iyang temperature during the transit, it is okay to not accept the food, or you can discard the product. So that's the receiving process. So let's move on to the cold holding. So always keep food at 5 degrees Celsius or colder. Check food with a probe when preparing to reheat the food. And always remember na ang frozen food always be frozen. So that is the cold holding. So let's move in thawing. So thawing, in other words, is defrosting. So defrost the food. So there are 3 types of thawing. So the first one is thaw food in a refrigerator. Pwede na siya ni may defrost sa refrigerator if gahin na siya ang product or the food. Second one is under cold running water. So if ever inyong meat kay na frozen na, kay ginahanag mo luto o pagkaon, nagahay kay siya slice on, so dapat butangan ang meat o tubig aron ma-defrost siya or muhumok siya para makaluto na taog specified food. And the third one way is defrost in the microwave. So pwede na siya ni mo i-defrost sa microwave by initon. Hindi mo siya initon at sa microwave. So the next one is cooking. So the cooking temperature is 75 degrees Celsius above are effective in destroying almost all types of bacteria. However, cooking temperatures below this level are effectively provided the food is held at these temperatures for a suitable time. So that's the cooking process. So the temperature of a given product must always 75 degrees Celsius or above para mamatay ang mga bacteria. The next one is hot holding. So if ever human na kag-prepare sa imong food or ready to serve na ang imong food, just make sure that you keep it above 60 degrees Celsius. So para makontrol ang pag-multiplication of bacteria in hot food. So always check the temperature of food if you move it from the kitchen to a service area. So just to make sure nga magamit kag thermometer para mahibaw-an ang temperatures kada nga given product or specified food nga imong or imong lutuon. Let's move on to the cooling. So pili na siya ang pagkulkulang. So there are process of cooling. So the first one is the food should first be cooled from 135 degrees Celsius to 70 degrees Fahrenheit in 2 hours or less. So the next one is the food should be cooled from 70 degree to 40 degree Fahrenheit in 4 hours or less. So the total cooling should not be extended in 6 hours. So kung maghimo jud ka or kung mag-make kag food in advance, so cool it fast as possible to prevent bacteria growth and toxin production. So the last one is reheating. So dapat ang food na imong i-prepare must be reheated quickly, no? It is important to use appropriate cooking equipment such as a microwave, stove, or oven. So if ever imo i-reheat ang food, the external temperature of the food must reach to 165 degrees Fahrenheit or to convert or to equivalent to 74 degrees Celsius. So for at least 15 seconds within 2 hours. So once this minimum temperature has been reached, so the food should be held at 135 degrees Fahrenheit, so the convert of 57 degrees Celsius or warmer. So all the food that has previously been heated, that is being reheated, must be raised to a temperature of 82 degrees Celsius, so, which will ensure that our food that has been reheated is safe and reheated is safe. And in some cases, legally jud nga required ang temperature. So reheating will not destroy your toxins. Diba? So it is important to know how to get cooked foods cooled or cooling, and how to get cold foods hot or reheating. So in a way to keep our food safe while it get past temperature. While it get past the temperature danger zone. So if ever ma-level jud ang temperature danger zone, so the bacteria will grow rapidly. So make sure lang nga i-check jud ang temperature daan una ka mag-cook sa imong food. So importante ang may that negative 18 degrees Celsius is the freezer temperature. So the bacteria won't grow but they still alive. Dili sila mamatay. So the 5 degrees Celsius is the fridge temperature. So the 8 degrees Celsius is the food storage where you can store your food at this temperature. The 37 degrees Celsius is the body temperature. So it is the ideal temperature for bacteria to grow. Diri nimo mahibaw-an nga 37 degrees Celsius patamong siya ani kay daghan na jud ang bacteria, nag-multiply na siya. So the 63 degrees Celsius is a minimum hot holding, 75 degrees Celsius is the cooking or heating, and the last one is 100 degrees Celsius is a boiling water. Diri ma-destroy ang mga bacteria. Wala na yung mahabilin nga bacteria. So remember, it is safest to make fresh food every day and serve it immediately because health is beauty. So that's all. Thank you and have a nice day.
So, why is control time and temperature important? So, nganong mang ang importante man jud no ang control the time and the temperature of the food, nganong importante man jud kay siya. So, wala may mutubag, so ako na lang. Okay, so temperature plays a crucial role in medical care, both humans and animals, especially when it comes to the food, beverages, and agriculture. Our overall health is often reliant upon the temperature in many ways as well. So controlling the time or the temperature of food is extremely important to ensure that the food is safe to eat, and you can also ensure that the food is cooked, cooled, chilled, or reheated properly to minimize the risk of harmful levels of bacteria in the food that we consume. So, in order kuno nga ma-eliminate ang mga microorganisms or mga bacterias, kinahanglan sad nato siyang i-control ang time ug temperature sa atong foods. So, that is the importance of control time and temperature. So, for safety, perishable foods must be held at the proper cold temperature to inhibit bacterial growth, or cooked to temperatures high enough to kill harmful microorganisms that could cause foodborne illnesses. So foodborne illnesses like salmonella, hepatitis A, that could cause diarrhea. So mo na siya if masubraan siya sa heat, di kay mahilaw siya o mahilaw man gani siya, makadaot gyud ang pagkaon nga imong i-consume. So if the food is cold, keep the food cold below 41 Fahrenheit. Kaya numdum pa mo sa temperature danger zone. So below 41 Fahrenheit or the 5 Celsius. Mas ubos pa na. So kung you have a hot food, keep the food hot above 135 Fahrenheit or the 57 Celsius. So mas importante gyud sa atoa nga atong i-store or atong i-preserve ang food nato nga para makahibaw ta ba nga ang atong gi-intake every day is safety. So mo na siya ang importance sa time and temperature. So that would be all for our reporting. I hope you have learned something, attained something, and thank you for listening. Goodbye. See you around.